Women of Reddit, what's the most crazy girlfriend thing you've ever done? Looking back, it probably wasn't that crazy, but it violated my standards I hold for myself to prevent me from being the crazy wife. Years ago, my husband's friend came over with his new roommate. This was the first time either of us had ever met or spoken to her. New roommate was known as a skank, but I'm not one to judge. We all hang out and have a good time. Later that evening, after they leave, I open my laptop and find that my husband is still logged into Facebook. I see that skanky roommate has sent him a friend request and put a message on his wall. NBD. So I excited log out of his account and into mine so I can accept my new friend and chat with her too. Ept. She didn't send me a friend request. She didn't leave a cute message on my wall. Just his. So I logged back into Hubby's account and blocked her. My college ex and I broke up amicably, just going in different directions. The next guy she dated, she caught him drunkenly king her sister in her bed at her house party. She flipped. She was only about 52, 110, but she somehow helped a half-full keg out of a second-story bedroom window onto the roof of his car. Legal drama galore. She called me to bail her out. I did. I never could decide if it was a bullet dodged or if I really couldn't blame her. That was one hell of a provocation. Hid on his roof while the cops were looking for me. We had a fight and he thought I was going to hurt myself. Sent him a video of myself crying as a way to reason with him after he broke up with me. He didn't want to hang out that day, so I took the train to his neighborhood. He brought his friends to the train station after their band rehearsal like he always did. He saw me walking around and I told him that I just like take walks in his area. It worked and I got to hang out with him because since I'm already there, I cringe just thinking about it because he definitively knew. But to be fair, I was 13. Wouldn't do it again nowadays. Found out my ex of 3 years had been cheating on me and had stolen money from my savings and my mother's safe jewelry to make presents to this other girl for months. Went out with my friends the following night. We all got a bit drunk and for some reason had to poop at the same time. We thought it was a good idea to poop on his car. So we walked to his house at 3 AM and we all left a little poop on different parts of the car. I am not proud, but I don't regret it either. I burned his stuff and posted a picture of the fire on Facebook, then tagged him right in the center of the fire. My first boyfriend in high school, we were 15 over 16. He was about to break up with me because he was getting cozy with this hot new freshman girl who already had a reputation for giving great BJs, but I didn't know that at the time. All I knew is that he was acting differently towards me. In the past he had been almost clingy, but he was being really distant and acting like being around me was annoying. But on this day I was still technically his girlfriend. So BF and a bunch of other people start leaving together at the end of the school day. The high school was across the street from a bunch of restaurants, and I heard from one of the other guys they were headed to Buffalo Wild Wings. They left without me. BF didn't say anything about it to me. So what do? Well, naturally I walk over there and park myself outside the restaurant and wait. I waited for probably 90 minutes and this was before smartphones, so I was bored AF. Eventually the group exits the restaurant and BF sees me sitting on the curb. He wasn't going to acknowledge me until one of the other guys said, "Aren't you going to say hi to your girlfriend?" So he gave me a quick one-arm hug and said okay bye. Again one of the other guys prompted him to be polite and offer me a ride back to the school. He goes yeah sure, just hop in the back pickup truck. Other guy says you aren't going to let your girlfriend ride shotgun? BF goes nah. Searched photos liked by boyfriend's name on Facebook. Ran behind his moving car, howling, in the middle of traffic. Edit. We were in the middle of massive fight in the car and called off the engagement and ended up in yelling and lots of tears. Asked him to drop me off right then and there in the middle of the road and opened the door of the moving car. He braked and let me out and I obviously slammed the door for the dramatic effect only to realize seconds later that my handbag with my phone and wallet were in the car. Hence, ran behind his moving car, howling, in the middle of traffic. I just realized I'm not as stable as I pretend to be. I got broken up with. 4 months later was out drinking nearby. Phone him up and basically tell him I'm on my way. He put up a small fight, but in the end, begrudgingly agreed. So I stopped at home, was not driving. Put on my new floral dress and wedges. Really, I looked nice. I then have a friend drop me off there. Oh, and I also had a huge bottle of vodka in my purse. Despite being very inebriated already, I continued taking straight shots from it. I wake up alone in his bed and walk downstairs. The amount of hate in his eyes startled me. He began to explain how I had tried to piss in his closet, and when confronted, I cried and declared, "You don't know what it's like to be a pretty woman." I left very swiftly after being told that. I don't remember most of the night and never got the full story as he had virtually blocked me in every ways imaginable. I'm sorry, Matt. Paid money to access my boyfriend's court records because my mom had somehow convinced me he was lying about a certain court case that involved his ex. It turns out he was actually telling the truth. I was only skeptical because he has been known to embellish stories to make them more entertaining. This was while we were broken up for about 2 weeks, and I feel guilty about it all the time for even doubting him. Edit. We were together for 2 years when we broke up and shortly got back together as the breakup was due to stress from him. I'm still so ashamed of invading his privacy like that, but we are very happy and in a healthy place. I've never been overly jealous, so this was super out of character, but a tint part of me is glad I did, because now I know not to doubt him. A friend of mine flew across the US, pretending to want to reconcile with her recent ex, in order to lock herself in the bathroom with his laptop and wipe the hard drive. In her defense, he was trying to send her parents and college professors her nudes and get her expelled and in trouble. I was hormonal and missing, and so MBF brought me takeout from my favorite sub shop. I cried when I opened it because it was my favorite sub, but I didn't want my favorite. I wanted my second favorite sub. Went through his phone and caught him cheating as a result. Not as crazy as some of the others on here, but it felt crazy to me because I'm 100% not the type of person that does this. The funny thing is, he started cheating when I moved away for college. I suspected nothing, but his dad was a ref **king bro and pulled me aside one weekend when I came to visit and told me he suspected he was cheating. Looked in the phone for proof, and it turns out I had gone from girlfriend to the other woman to 3 different girls in the span of about 3 weeks. It was a 6-year anniversary when I found out and dumped him. OHH man. So I can't say this is precisely a crazy girlfriend thing, because we were just best friends and lovers for years, 2 to 3 at the time this story occurs. But I wanted to be. I started by internet stalking him, his MySpace Facebook, his pictures, his friends, his notes, liver journal, DeviantArt. He had a blog. I was convinced I was his dream girl and was determined to prove it. I was still casually dating though and had an Cupid profile. He showed up on my list at a 95% match, my highest ever. I paid for Alice to be an invisible visitor and scoured his profile and its hundreds of answered questions. Read every book and watched every movie he mentioned. I actually ended up sincerely liking all of them, so silver lining. Casually started dropping them in conversation, among others so as not to tip him off. I befriended his partners and exes for inside information and other accidental sincerity, as I'm still in contact with many of them. A decade later, I exclusively smoked his favorite brand of cigarettes and casually quoted his short stories, which I was fan level familiar with. We got matching tattoos for my birthday one year, and he has no idea I knew the tattoo he wanted a year before, and started discussing my interests in a totally unrelated tattoo through that year. The matching tattoos were his idea by the time my birthday rolled around. Short version, it worked, but we aren't together. I do my damnedest to never be that type of person, but the urge is still there. My fiancé and I had to work through it and ensure I hadn't done that to him. This was 10 years ago, and I still get the creeps at the thought of a guy doing that too. For me. Turned on the read receipts on his phone when he asked me to fix something else in his settings. Edit for clarity / so I can stop getting yelled at in my inbox. Dude would regularly not answer for 24 plus hours. Dude lives with his phone in hand. Dude rode a motorcycle exclusively, and the only time I had been on it has ended in an accident. This led to a certain amount of anxiety, which I explained to him. We had talked about it multiple times. His main defense was, well, my ex used to freak out if I didn't answer in 15 minutes, so sometimes I just don't want to bother. Understandable, but I was expecting something more, like a response sometime within the next 4 hours. Dude's his own boss in an industry that has a significant amount of downtime. A few days after losing my virginity to some random dude I met online, consensually, to be clear, I called an ex that I had dated for 3 weeks and hysterically cried, telling him I should have lost it to him. Poor guy had no **king clue what was happening. I suppose that's more of a crazy ex-girlfriend thing. Make sure to like and subscribe for more daily content. Thanks for watching.